Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shamika and this is Check the Rhymes. Thank you so much for tuning in today because I have an amazing show lined up for you. Joining me, I have poet and filmmaker Tomos Roberts, and you may recognize his name because he recently released a hopeful video about a post-COVID-19 world, and that video blew up. It's called The Great Realization, and he just released a children's illustrated book of the same name, and it also kind of just features really like what would happen when we get back to our new normal. You know, so when we can go outside and be free and not have to wear masks. So anyway, we're going to talk to Tomos about how he came up with the idea for The Great Realization and talk to him about how he is inspiring so many people. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss today's show. Hi, Tomos. Welcome to Check the Rhymes. I am so excited to talk to you because your poem and the book like really struck a chord with me. Thank you for giving me hope.
Well, I'm honestly, I'm really pleased to be talking to you. Also, is your surname Rhymes, or is this a stage name? Because if it is, that's incredible.
Oh, thank you. No, it really is my name.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah. A lot of people don't catch on to that. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. So tell me a little bit about The Great Realization. What inspired you to just sit down and write the poem and then decide to put it to video?
Yeah, well, I suppose the best way to explain how it came about is to tell you. So I was working as a filmmaker, as a freelance filmmaker for a big company in the UK, and I was making the videos for their Instagram account, and that was my job. And when lockdown hit the UK, it wasn't even that I got fired, you know, my job just vanished. You know, it just suddenly it stopped existing. So I had no stability, you know, in this moment. And so I moved back home. I moved back in with my dad and my little brother and sister. So now my mum, my dad, and my big sister all work in the hospitals. So, you know, they were, you know, as far as we were concerned in the UK, and I think in many other countries too, you know, they're the frontline workers. They're off saving the country. And I was left at home with my 7-year-old brother and sister, and, you know, the schools are shut. So I really had to look after these guys all day. And the school would send work for us to do together, but I find it wouldn't take, you know, the whole day. And then there was a lot more time to fill, and I didn't want to just put them in front of the television. So, you know, for the last 10 years, I've been writing and performing poetry in open mic nights around the city. And yeah, it really felt like this was what we needed as a family in this moment. So, you know, I've got some basic camera equipment in my house, and so I started creating these little projects, you know, that I could try and teach these two guys about what I do for a living, whilst also, and I suppose this was what we hoped would happen, but we had no idea it would happen to the extent it did, is, you know, we hoped that maybe a few people would see the videos and, you know, feel a little bit better. So that was really the motivation.
Okay. Well, since you mentioned that, like, you didn't really expect it to take off the way it did, to even have like celebrities, you know, praising it. I mean, what was that like once you found out, like, oh, this is like going viral, I'm getting attention now?
I mean, I think, you know, I really tried, and I still believe this. I tried to, you know, I tried to look at it from the perspective of that, you know, what people are interested in is not me, you know, necessarily. I'm just you know, I'm just as I was before. You know, what I felt was really hopeful and really encouraging was a lot of people were, by sharing this video around, I think a lot of people were suggesting that they wanted to get behind the message, you know, of what I was trying to say with the video. And that's really exciting because, you know, I suppose the ultimate message of the piece was maybe we don't have to go back to normal, you know, because I was hearing so many people say, I can't wait for things to go back to normal.
Right.
I was thinking, you know, like it wasn't perfect before. You know, there were huge imbalances and inequalities and definitely many areas where I think we could improve so profoundly, you know, as a people. And, you know, and yet a virus comes along and naturally all people want is to go back to 2019.
Right.
I suppose the message that I was really keen to, the idea that I was really keen to put forward was maybe we don't have to go back to 2019 and have things, you know, as they were before this virus came along. Maybe we could use this moment to address some of the imbalances in our lives, and then that ripples outwards. And the wonderful thing about that is that it's you know, it's hopeful, and it's a way of thinking, you know, this year wasn't just doesn't have to just be a dark moment in our history. It can be, you know, we can use it for something good, and I think a lot of people were prepared to get behind that idea.
Absolutely, because one of the lines that stuck out to me, you know, both in the book and the video, you know, when you say, why did it take a virus to bring people back together? So what you just said just really kind of drives that home even more. Like, you know, like you said, we weren't normal before, you know, it really wasn't like normal. But so hopefully that, you know, post COVID, we have I guess a new normal, a better normal. What do you hope that people take away from the book?
Well, I if I'm being completely honest with you, Shamika, I didn't think that, I thought it was unlikely that in my lifetime I would ever be lucky enough to publish a book. And, you know, I studied literature at university, so I've long been, I'm no stranger to a library, but yeah, when the poem turned out the way it did, and these wonderful publishers approached me, you know, to talk about turning it into an illustrated book, the main thing that excited me about that was how, you know, the internet is an incredible place where, you know, anyone can be, I feel like anyone can step into the spotlight for a couple of minutes. You know, you can create a video, and that's you know, that's your moment of attention, and then it passes, and it naturally passes around and moves on to another place. And, you know, what I loved about creating a book is that there's just such a beautiful permanency to it, and it's tangible. You know, it's something you can touch and hold. And, you know, I, for the last 6 months, have been putting my little brother and sister to bed every night with a storybook. And, you know, to be able to contribute to that catalogue of work that's out there, that's wonderful, is pretty humbling.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for chatting with me about the Great Realization. And I definitely, I'm going to have to, you know, make sure that all my friends with kids add this to their library, because this book is so powerful. So again, thank you so much for writing it. Thank you for doing the video. And here's to hoping for an amazing post-COVID world.
I'm with you on that. Thank you so much for talking to me.
All right. Thanks for joining me on Check the Rhymes.